What is my idea was coming through once again, and on today's video we're going to talk about the statewide lockdown that is going on right now in California with all the level 4s and level 3s, right? Do I agree with it or not? I'm going to tell you what I think about that, and I'm going to share with you guys experiences. So far I have been in 2 statewide lockdowns, man. I'm going to tell you what I think about that and how I felt at the time, right? But before we continue with this video, man, do not forget to hit the like, a comment, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and everything. Does not cost you nothing, and at the end of the day, man, you're just supporting the channel, man, which I do highly appreciate. If you don't want to do that, anyways, thank you for your view. I do appreciate that as well, right? If you like it, hit the like button. I do appreciate those and the comments as well. Uh, so as many of you guys know, man, CDCR within within 3-4 days, there's been unaliving in High Desert State Prison. There was an assault or battery, right, on a cop in Lancaster, and because of these events, they decided to go on a statewide lockdown. I believe they did it today during. I mean, it means that people are gonna go visit their family members on the weekend, man. So it sucks because, I mean, it sucks, man. It sucks. But what do I think about this? Do I think it's fair or not? Uh, you might have a different opinion than me, and some people might find a logic to this, but I don't. I feel like these incidents are isolated. One happened in High Desert, where it was 2 guys. That issue. One is unalive, the other one is on the hole. And the other incident happened in Lancaster between a inmate and his CO boss. The CO boss survived. The inmate, trust me, is in the hole. He's not going. He's not going through it good. Just believe that. But why do they find logic in putting everybody on lockdown? All the level 3s and all the level 4s, supposedly to do investigation of what? Now, let's say if it was like back in the days when there used to be riots, right? A big riot happened in a prison between 2 different groups. Now, you don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I can see that something like that can put everybody on a statewide lockdown, because you want to go through whatever process you need to go, find out if somebody's going to tell you if this is going to escalate out of proportion throughout the state, or it was just an issue in that prison. I can see a logic to that. But when it's incidents that don't have to do with any other prison, I don't see the logic. And I feel like people are being punished. It's already a punishment being locked up. And this is for the individuals, the inmates that are behaving, the inmates that want to get out, the inmates they are putting into their recovery, right? Those inmates shouldn't be, I mean, at least their families shouldn't go through this. We're talking about the weekend is coming through with the visits. And many inmates are going to have their Father's Day visits on the weekend. Never know, man. I don't feel this is the case. This is the right way to go about stuff. But again, violence is always going to be, there's always going to be in prison, especially in California. Everybody knows that. We all can blame a person, right? We all can blame a person. But at the end of the day, man, it's the culture within the institutions that are causing this. It can go from the green side. It can go from the blue side. It's the culture. That shit does not go away just like that. You have to get rid of everybody. It's a cycle that you have to end. And either you get everybody right, or you just get rid of everybody and start from the beginning. During my time in prison, I have been through 2 different types of lockdowns of this magnitude. The first one, it was in 2008. I have told this story, and where all the Southsiders, at least a handful of Southsiders, attacked correctional officers in Tehachapi, California, in CCI. This happened, I believe it was in AR. And they run to the library, got into the office, and they proceed to stab these individuals, right? Because of some issue they had in where they respected a big homie. They just put it that way, right? Because of this incident, right? They did a statewide lockdown throughout California. I still remember that day to this day. Why? Because I think the incident happened on a Friday. By Saturday, everybody woke up saying, hey man, it's going to be a statewide lockdown. And guess what? I was supposed to get a visit right there. My family drove 8 hours to go visit me. And at the end of the day, is how I see it. It was not about the visit. It was about what my family had to go through. Spending money, not working. And all for what? So they can say, hey man, you cannot visit him. Send him back. Not even a visit through the glass. Just put it that way, through the glass. You know, a 1 hour visit. Why? Because they have to call to make an appointment. So things like this, man, does hit a nerve, you know, because I've been through stuff like that. And I do understand the statewide lockdown. I do understand it. But when it comes down to 101, like what happened in High Desert State Prison, an incident between ACO and an inmate in Lancaster, that seems to me like isolated incidents. What happened in that prison is not going to affect the next prison. It's not. I don't know why they do this, but all you're doing, man, is affecting the families. They're supposed to. All you're doing is affecting the families. They want to see their loved ones. You know, that's all they can do. Around 2018, something around those years, right? They did a statewide lockdown. It was because supposedly there was a lot of contraband in CDCR, right? So they used this as an excuse, supposedly, to search for phones and any type of contraband, right? Supposedly the cops were gonna come with the dogs. Everybody was ready, and they start searching, right, cell by cell. First day of doing it, they hit 4 block, man. I was in Tehachapi. They came with the dogs and everything. Boom. Second day of searching, came with the dogs, and as time passed by, right, there was no dogs. It was not as many COs. So as time passed by, the COs seemed to give up on the search, right? They were like, man, well, what are we doing? You know? Yeah, it's a statewide lockdown to look for contraband, but we're not finding nothing. Of course, I'm pretty sure a lot of people got busted with phones, you know? But at least where I was at, there was not that many phones. Usually the phones are on spots like the level 3s. Those things are flooded with phones. The level 2s, it depends. There's phones for sure, but you have to think about this. It is a dorm. So there's people with phones, but I don't think there's going to be as many people as the level 3s. I think the level 3s are the ones who have the most actions at phones and stuff like that, right? Of course, some level 4s, it depends where you're at. You might have that much action. And I think, and the reason why I'm saying the level 3s have more action at the phones, because the level 4s go more into a lockdown. What this means? It means that basically when you go to a lockdown, they have to do a search of your cell. So there's more searches, you know? So you have to understand, you're going to run out of places in where you can hide your phone, right? Eventually that spot is going to get burned by somebody. So the more searches they do, the more chances that you're going to get caught with that phone, right? So the chances of you having a phone in that institution, in that prison, they're going to be a little bit smaller than actually having a phone in a place where basically barely do any types of searches. Now, I don't know if that's why they're going to do this lockdown. I don't know if they're going to search, but I still don't see no logic to it. If you're going to fix what's going on in CDCR, man, I don't know how can you do that. I don't know how can you do that. Because what I see right here is that CDCR is trying to come up with a plan to get all of those individuals that were let out of the shoe back into the shoe. That's how it seems like, because when they let those individuals out, a lot of violence popped up, and you cannot disagree with that, you know. So with this being it, if you have a family member in prison, I hope they're doing good, man. I wish nothing but the best to you and your family. So with this being said, we are out to next video. Gracias.